Hi everyone. So for today's lab, we have to create three programs and we will be submitting three program files and three screenshot. So let's jump into the first one. The first one says the password.py. In this program, what does it say? Let's read about it. Many user create passwords are simple and easy to guess. Write a program that strengthens a simple password by replacing characters using a key below and appending exclamation mark to the end of the input string. So what does it say that since a lot of user create simple password, we have to write a program that will help to suggest that's going to suggest to the user that for this simple password you could have a stronger password using the following rules which is nothing but if a user is using small o in their password, that will become 0. If it is small I, then it will become 1. Small a will become at the rate, e will become 3, capital A will become 4. So you see the case is also mattering here, like it matters here. So we have to write all these rules using a for loop and if else if condition. So what does our program say? There is an input which is of type string from a user. So we know that we have to write an input function to take the input from a user and using a for loop on that type of input. What is the type of this input? String, right? So all we are looking for is nothing but a for loop using string, and then we will write the conditions in it. So for loop for a string. So this is the link that I got, for loop through a string. And what does it say? Let's see. Looping through a string is nothing but even strings are iterable objects. What does that mean? It means that they contain a sequence of characters. So here you see this is a string, but which is nothing but a sequence of character. A character B, character A, character N, A. All together they form a string. So string is nothing but an iteratable object, which is nothing but a sequence of characters. So if you run a loop over it, you can grab a hold of each character. So for X in banana, so X here represent a character. For each character in banana, you can get a hold of first iteration, second character in second iteration, third character in third iteration, and do some operation about it. So we are doing a print here that we are printing it. So let's see what is going to happen. If we run this program, what it is doing for X in banana, X is nothing but a character. The first character in banana, print for the first character. So we got the first character printed. For the second iteration, the loop for loop is for iteration, right? So the second iteration, A will be in X. So our character is A. Print the character. So we are printing A. For third iteration, for fourth iteration, fifth iteration, for sixth iteration. For each iteration in banana, till we iterate all the characters in the string, we loop through and we print the character itself. Instead of printing, now we know that since we have to convert this banana into a special string, which is nothing but a suggested strong password, all we have to do is whenever we encounter B, we have to do nothing. Whenever we encounter A, what does our A says? Becomes at the rate. So we want to convert this to it at the rate. So we're talking about this thing. So let's write a logic here itself, okay? So I'm gonna write a logic here. We are talking about writing a password one, right? So I'm gonna just use the variables that I have already defined. So our goal is to get the strong password, which we are initializing with empty character. Right now, we don't have any strong password. As we go through each character, we will decide that what needs to be appended to our strong character, right? So for X in banana, I'm going to write a condition that instead of printing, check if x is equal to what is our condition A. Then do something, else do something, right? I'm saying if it is equal to A, then we want to convert it into @ and append to strong password. Otherwise, X is our character. So right now, X is nothing but B in first iteration, which is not equal to A. So our strong password will become nothing but strong. So we don't want any change in this character, right? We are saying strong password will become whatever is in strong password, an empty character plus a new character, not a new character, the character itself A, right? But if it is A, strong password equal to strong password, which is our B plus what is our expected strong password? Our expected strong password is nothing but B should be B, A should become @, right? So here it will come B, so it will become B. In the second iteration, it will find A, so A will become nothing but @, so it will become B plus @, so it's gonna become BA. The next character will come N, which is not A, so it will become B plus N. X is N, right? So it will become BAN. Likewise, we want it, right? So this is our logic we are trying to implement. I'm gonna replace it with this. So we are trying to define a strong password, which is gonna be converting A into @ and rest all character will be as is. And then I want to print the strong password. Let's see if I can print the strong password, okay? So I'm saying like at the end, do nothing but once the loop is finished, print the weak password is banana and strong password. So let's run this. So see our banana becomes B @ N N @. So all the A is being replaced with @. So likewise, you will write all the rules in here whenever you find new character, what you have to do. So you have to finish your assignment likewise. Moving on to the program 2, where we are saying that you have to reverse a string. So your program should end when the user enters quit, or Q as an input. So as soon as user doesn't hit the Q and quit, whatever string user is giving as an input, your job is to reverse it. So you will see the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog is an input string, and the reverse of it is nothing but God space YZAL space EHT, which is THE, reverse of THE. So whatever you have entered, the character wise, each character has been reversed accordingly. And this should keep going on till the user asks to quit. As soon as user enter the quit, you will quit on it. For this, we will be using for loop, while loop, and the range function. If you don't know what is while loop, what is for loop, what is range function, I would recommend go to the slides in the lecture. You would have covered the while loop, the for loop, and the range function. If you cannot do that, then probably it's better to search online, look for the for loop, look for the range function. This is the example we have done so far. So this is the for loop, how you do the for loop basically. There are multiple for loops. You can read about it all here. There is a range function. If you read about the range function, you can read about the range function too. So a range function defaults to, I think all of you know the for loop, but if not, then go back to slides, look back at it. The while loop we will cover right now, but the range function default to 0 as starting value. It takes 3 parameters. So if you see the function returns a sequence of numbers starting from 0 by default, increment by 1 by default, and ends at the specific number. So your range function can have three parameters, and default for each is 1. So you start at 2, finish at 3 with increment of 3. So let's try it, what it is doing. So it is doing nothing but starting from number 2, it is going to print the number. So we are printing 2, 4, not 4, 2 plus 3, 5, 8, 11, 2, 5, 8, 11. You keep going on till you reach 30. So as soon as you reach 30, 29 plus 3 is 32. You're not going to cross 32. So 29 will be printed, but 32 will not be because the range we have given is from 2 to 30 with the increment of 3 you have to print. So let's move back to the assignment. We have seen the range function definition. We know the for loop. We know the while loop. If you don't know the while loop, you can search in your slide or go for the W3 school. You can see the while loop. The while loop, we execute a set of statement as long as condition is true. So what we are saying till the user enters quit, quit, or queue. So we know that we have a input from a user, right? I'm gonna show you the code for this one on editor, okay? So all we are talking about is this program where we have an input from the user and we have to reverse the string, right? So if a user says quit, then we don't want to reverse it. If user says, I'm gonna write it in the comment, okay? If it is quit, then we don't want to do anything. Reverse it. If it is any other string, like please reverse this string, the output is supposed to be string is reverse at GNIR TS string SIHT is reverse of this. So you see, if you read it, this string this, so string this is opposite this way. So you want to reverse it likewise, okay? ESR EVER. This is the reverse of reverse. This is reverse of please. SAEL3. This should be our output if a user enters something in like this. So to do that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna write a while loop and check if it is quit. Okay, so I'm writing a while loop and I'm saying that while input string, whatever input string is coming in here, I'm saying while this input string is not equal to quit and not equal to quit and not equal to Q, whatever it is, do something. What we have to do, we have to write a logic which is going to do the reverse of the string using a for loop, using a range function. So I'm just doing a hard code reverse string right now. So if I say the reverse of this string is this, okay. So if a user enter this string, please reverse this string. The output should be generated using this logic. You'll write some logic here using a range function, using a for loop, which will give you a reverse string like this. And your job is to print the reverse string. And then you keep asking the user again and again. So what will happen here? It will print the reverse of the string, and again it will ask the input string, the variable from the user input. If user says another string, I will take, it will go check here. Is it quit? No, it is not quit. Is it quit? No, it is not quit. Then do some logic here, reverse this string, print it, and ask again. Again, print another string. As soon as user enter quit, or quit or queue, you should keep doing this. So while loop is gonna help you for that, while it is not equal to quit and not equal to quit. So in this case, it will be quit here, right? It is not equal to quit, but this is quit. So this condition fails. This is equal to this quit, which means that it will fail to go into the while loop. So you'll write some logic here to do the range function using the for loop and the range function. Let's go back and look how I'm gonna do the reverse of my name. Okay, I'm saying my name is Prakash, right? If I have to reverse this, I don't know this is not a right example to pick. So let's pick the range function. Where was the range function? It's not here, so let's look for it. Range function. Okay, let's start. Anything is fine. So we have seen that range function has three parameters, right? Um, let's not take this example. I think I showed you the example of range function before. Where is the range function? This one, yeah. This example we have looked at, right? So we are saying that range of 3 to n, do this. What if I say that start with 20, go till 0, go with -1 step count. So step count is, this is a compiler error because the logic is not right. I'm saying go till -1 and go for print. Okay, so let's run this. So see 20, 19, 18 with -1 step, I'm going from 20 to 0. See, 0 is not included, so it will come at 1. As soon as it goes to 0, it will stop here. So if I want to print 0, what I will do, I'll say that, okay, with -1 step, go till -1, right? So I'm going till 20 to 0. If I'm saying my name is Prakash, you know what is how indexing works. Indexing goes to 0. So what is at index 0? P. Index 1 is R. So likewise, we have 3 plus 4, 7. 7 means 6, from 0 to 6, right? What is the index of these characters? These characters are nothing but name of 0 is P and name of 6 is my last character H, right? I want to go from 0 to 6. So 6 is my length. So I'm saying length of my name, which is name. It is gonna be 7, but I want 6. So I'm saying length -1, which is 6. Or I can hard code it to 6 also. 6 to -1, print name of n. So see, Prakash. Typically I told that, okay, go for the last character, start printing it, and that's how I can reverse it. So I've given you enough logic to use the for loop for the range function and somehow to reverse the string. How you find the number 6 is up to you. Maybe you will use the length function of name, something like that you will use probably, and if you run it, you get the same output. So that's how you will write a logic for the reverse function. To show you how the for loop, while loop works, I'm gonna show you here. I'm gonna show you running this one also, okay? Let's run this, and I don't need this. I'm saying that till quit comes, I want to keep printing this, okay? So what I'm saying is, please reverse the string is the input of this program that I'm going to run in a dedicated terminal. Control Z, CLS. I'm gonna run it, and I'm saying enter the string to be reversed. Now, if I enter anything here, it is gonna give me the hard-coded output, you see? This is not a reverse of Prakash, but you have to write some logic here using the for loop and the range loop to keep running. But you see, it keeps asking me the string to be reversed. And if I enter any string, whatever string I type in here, it will give me the logic and keep asking me till I type quit. As soon as I type quit, the program quits. See? So you have to handle the logic accordingly to make it work till quit, queue or quit. All these conditions are being taken care and write the logic to reverse the string. The third program is about normalizing the values. So in this program, a user is entering an integer value, which is defining that what is the length of the list, that how many floating point values the user is going to enter. If user enters 7 here, you will ask 7 floating point value as an input. If user enter 5 here, you are taking 5 floating point value as an input. So first input is integer value. And for that many number of times, you're gonna ask the floating point value to be entered by user. And then you have to normalize the list. So you'll be using a list to make a list of floating point value. And in each item, you're going to normalize it. And how are you gonna normalize them? Formula for normalizing it is the first input begins with an integer, indicating the number of floating point values that will follow. And then you have to adjust all the inputs by dividing the largest value. So you'll find the largest value in this list of 5 or whatever number of floating point user wants to enter and divide each number by the largest value. So here you see the largest value is 100. So you divide each number by 100. Here you get 0.30, here you get 0.50. 10 divided by 100 is 0.10, 100 divided by 100 is 1.00. So you normalize the value that is being entered into the list by dividing it using the largest value. I think I have written the code. If not, then let's write it. Okay. I'm not gonna help on a lot on this one because since we already know that what we are trying to do, and I don't think you need a lot of help here because we are using a concept of list, which we have studied long time ago. And then you know how to find the maximum. You have to be a little creative about it. You know the range function already. So we know the range function, we know the for loop, we know the list, we know the floating point value. You have to club and integrate all the knowledge you have gathered so far in these labs. I'm gonna still give you some input. So first thing is we are asking an input function for the integer value, right? So we are taking an input with the integer value, which will define the size of the list of floating point values, right? And then you create a list of those floating point values and you use this integer value to run a for loop to take an input from a user. I'm gonna give you a head start. So this is your program. I'm saying that we need a number of float point value that a user want to enter. So size of a list is of type integer. So we have written an input value for converting into integer type, and these are the number of float values that the user want to enter. And then we are creating a list of float value. We're creating a loop for loop. Let me comment this out. This for loop is doing nothing but iteration in range of 1 to whatever floating point value I have given, plus 1 the range. So if I ask for five inputs, then range of 1 to 6, it means that it will ask five values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will not go till 6 as we have discussed. And I'm saying take the input. And input is nothing but please enter the floating point value. And if we are asking for a floating point value, then we have to wrap it around and typecast it to the float value, right? So this is gonna ask me floating point value, but now I have to append this into a list. How you append this value? That what you have to think. Add this value to the list. Write some logic to find the maximum also, largest value in the list. You can do it in sequential way or whatever way, but I'm just giving you the hint. Write code to get largest value in the list. Normalize the list and print the normalized value. That's all you have to do here, right? How do you do that? It's up to you. You know the range function, you know the for loop. This is all mathematical operation, how to add the item in the list, how to write the code to get the largest value. You can be creative in this, or you can use functions. You can do whatever you want. Once you get the largest value, you're done with the loop. You know how to write a code for normalize the value outside of loop, okay? Outside of, or you can write inside the loop also, but I'm just suggesting that you can do certain ways. So this is what you will be doing. You will be writing some code to find the largest value, make the list, normalize the floating point values, and print it. Print them in the after normalizing. Okay. So this is your code for program 3 startup code. And I have covered all the logics, everything which is required to finish these three labs. So please finish your labs and submit it in as per requested. Okay.